Hi, my magical creatures, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is I'm going to talk about signs from my mother. My mother passed away in December, and it is June. So these are kind of things that I've experienced, that I've seen with her, that I know she's like looking out and trying to communicate and stuff like that. So before we begin, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, a like, and don't forget to subscribe. It's a free way to help your girl out. So let's get started. Okay, so the first sign. So I remember when my mom passed away, I was very devastated. I was hurt, it was totally unexpected and stuff like that. So I want to say the first sign that I saw when my mother passed away was it was probably a few days after her death. I was driving to Papa Murphy's and I was going to go get a pizza. And when I was driving, I saw this um, Toyota Solara Sub 6, and it was a red car. It's a very old car. Like, you don't really see that car anymore on the streets or anything like that. And it was the same model, same color, same everything. My mom used to have that car when I was younger, when I was probably like 10, like 8, 9, 10 years old. Me and my mom, we used to drive in that car all the time, and we would spend more time in that car than we spent in the house or whatever. So I remember she rode the thing out of that car. She had that car everywhere with her. She was always driving in that car. I was always with her too. So when I was driving to Papa Murphy's, there was this big SUV kind of car, and I remember it kind of just. I was behind the car. We was at a red light, and I was behind the car, and the car just spun out and just cut through like 4 lanes, and then to get to the other side of the I guess the road traffic or whatever, and then she made like a right at the light or whatever, and I just thought that was like dang, that was like too much. So I pulled up or whatever since she kind of got out. So I pulled up in that space that she was in. And then in front of me was a red Toyota Solara Sub 6. And I'll play the video like right here. But yeah, when I seen that, I couldn't believe that. And it just made me like really happy, and it made me really very even more emotional, because I was just like, oh my god, because I haven't seen that car like in a very long time. Like, I don't even see that car in the streets, and ever since that situation, I haven't even seen that car again, because I was literally like looking for it too, like looking for that car when I drive and stuff. I haven't seen that car ever since. So um, I just thought, I totally believe that was my mom reaching out to me and letting me know. Like, that was a sign specifically for me to let me know, like, yeah, I'm there. Um, Also, too, the second sign that I've seen from my mother too, I think it was like that week. I ended up going to the hospital because, I was sick, I wasn't feeling good. So I was in the hospital, and I was in one of the rooms or whatever, and I was flipping through the channels, and it was just super random, super, So I was flipping through the channels, and on the TV, and I saw one of the, and I was only flipping through them like for like 5 seconds, and then I would flip to the next one or whatever. And then this one was like Law and Order or whatever. And my mom loved watching Law and Order all the time, and I didn't really care too much for it, but my mom would watch that. And what was I gonna say? When I was flipping through it, the credits was playing, and I was only watching for like 5 seconds. And right in the credits was my mom's name, and my mom's name is Anastasia. So that's a very unique name. Like, you don't really see that name plastered around. It's not a very common name to see or anything like that. Right in the 5 seconds of seeing that, I saw her name, Anastasia, in the credits, and it was really big and everything. And then all of a sudden it went to the next credits. But it was just crazy how that at that right time, the right moment, I saw my mom's name on that. So I just thought that was just crazy, and I was, yeah, that was my mom. So also too, the next sign that I saw, I think there was like another sign too that I saw. Um, I want to say like music too. Like there was my mom was really big into music. She loved music. And I remember Mariah Carey, We Belong Together, that song. My mom would love that song. And I remember that song would randomly play too. And so I truly believe that was my mom. Um Also too, I've been also having dreams. I didn't have the first few months I didn't have dreams about my mom, but now like when I dream and stuff, I have dreams about my mother. Like last night I had a dream about my mom. And in my dream I just saw her like hanging out with me, talking to me and stuff. And then she was like gone and then she would come back in my dream. It was weird. It was like certain parts of my dreams like she was gone and then like she would come back. And then I remember today I talked to my angels about it and I said, yeah, like was that really my mom talking to me or was that like just a regular dream? And they were like, that's your mom, she's there, you know? And I was like, really? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, well, why was she gone in some parts of my dreams and then she would come back? And then they were like, oh, she's busy because when we pass on, I was told that we have like assignments and stuff when we go to heaven or on the other side. So they were telling me like, oh, she was busy. She had to do some things, and so she left, and then she came back. And I was like, oh my god, that actually makes so much sense and stuff. And yeah, like when we pass on, but I truly do believe it's like assignments that we actually would love. You know, it's not like here on Earth where you're like, oh, I gotta go to work. You know, it's like you're gonna actually like love like what you do, and I think the assignments are gonna be like with your personality, like what you can handle, what you can do, and stuff like that. So I just thought that was so cool. But yeah, so definitely those were signs from like my from my loved one, my mother. And I thought I'd just come on here and share that with you guys. Like when your family and I'm making this video because I want y'all to know like when your loved ones pass on and stuff, like it just like really hurts and breaks my heart that people think like once you know your loved ones pass on, either they're like dust, they don't exist anymore, or they're like in heaven and they're trapped up there and they can't contact with us, or you know they can't come see us anymore. Like they're up there, they stay up there, they're not allowed to come back down to visit or anything like that. And I just totally disagree with that. Also too, I was at a rock shop and this was like last week. Like I was buying like rocks and crystals and I totally one of the girls that was helping me, I kept seeing like a man around her. And I ended up telling her, I said, she was asking me, she was like, what do you do for a living? And I was like, oh, I'm a psychic. I read people. And then also, too, like, you know, I make jewelry, you know? So she was like, oh my God, like, that's so cool, like, stuff like that. So then that's when I kept seeing like the man around her. And I remember just, and this was like last week, and I just told her, I said, yeah, like, you have like a lot of fairies and angels around you. And also too, I said, I see like this man around you too. And like what he's wearing like a red flannel and he's like an outdoorsy kind of guy. And then she just started like busted up in tears. I mean, she started crying. And I just kind of looked at her and she was like, oh my God, I know who you're talking about. That's my uncle. And she was like, that's my Uncle Frankie. And I was like, oh, really? And she was like, yeah, like that's so crazy that you say that because I was literally thinking about him this morning. And I was like, oh my God. And I told her, I was like, yeah, like he tells me that he's so happy. He said he loved when you guys would go out and do things together and stuff. And she's like, yeah, like me and him would like go on trips and stuff. And then also too, I told her, and I kept seeing like a little girl too, like sitting on his lap. And I was like, yeah, I see like a little girl like on his lap. I don't know why, but I keep seeing a little girl. And she told me that when he was alive in the physical world, that he had twins, but one of them died at birth. So he was telling me that, like, yeah, like she's here with me. And I was telling her that, and she's just even cried even more. She was like, yeah, like that's, she said, like when he had twins, one of them died at birth and it was a girl. And I told her that I kept seeing a little girl on his lap. So that they were together in the spiritual world. So I just thought that was so cool. And, you know, she totally, like, we hugged and, you know, everything like that. So I truly do believe that when your loved ones pass on, that, you know, they do reach out. And I think they're perfectly in a very safe, loved place. It's just they're in another veil and another, you know, dimension, another reality. But I mean, they do, I believe, come back to visit and stuff. So I hope my testimony helps any of you guys out there. And if you want help connecting to any of your loved ones, you can definitely go to my website and book a reading with me. And the link is down in the in the link in the bio. So I'll see you guys in the next video.